Hello. It's Friday and it's the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. And it's Christmas in July. So, Merry Christmas in July. How's everybody doing? I know you'd never guess it, but I was running in here at 12:59. I mean, I had already set up, but there's always it doesn't matter how much time I spend preparing. There's always something that I'm like, "Oh, I got to get this. Oh, let me get this." And then inevitably I forget something anyway. So we'll see what it is today. But in the meantime, let's see who all is here. Laura. Hello, Laura. Indeed, happy 4th to us all. And Karen Sobel. Good afternoon, Valera. I love it. And Anne is here. Katrin, I love it. Y'all are so awesome. And, oh, interesting. Sock patterns going on. Messages being sent back and forth. Hey, Kim and Tish. I'm glad y'all are here if I missed anybody. And for those of you who are watching later on, welcome, welcome. I don't have my little knit coaster over there. I'll just set it over here. I have my little knit coaster. Morgan was kind enough to make me an iced coffee today. So, what do y'all do for 4th of July? I'm just curious. Do we have any big 4th of July party people out here? Are you one of those annoying people in your neighborhood who let off fireworks right at 10 o'clock when everybody's trying to go to bed? Our neighborhood is pretty considerate for the most part. But I'm surprised we didn't hear any last night. Of course, we went to bed very early. I think I was out, lights out, 9 o'clock. I was done. But so Bo can correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't hear any. Normally, a couple nights leading up to the 4th and to New Year's Eve, we hear fireworks, the neighborhood people who set them off. But I didn't hear any last night. And hey, Tara, glad to see you here. And let's see who else. I think it's Kim. I already said hi to you. And Justin, hello. Hey, Tara. We don't get to see you very often. Are you off today? I bet you are. That would be good. And Teresa's here. Hey, Teresa, glad to have you. Let's see. Honey, are you on here? I wonder, he might be, Bo sometimes on Fridays, he gets to play his video games. He's a Destiny player, and he will play with his friends. Some are across the pond. I was just about to say they're all across the pond, but they're not. So he gets to play with his gamer friends. So he might still be doing that. Okay, will you moderate the comments for me, dear? All right, just to make sure nothing fishy's going on. Not that we ever have issues with that. Anyway, so hey, Star, I'm glad you're here. So back to what I was saying. Do any of y'all do, I know nowadays, like cities are always doing lots of events. Do y'all go see fireworks? Maybe take the kids, the grandkids? We used to do more of that stuff, but because 4th of July, it's so hot in Florida that I'll be honest, we kind of celebrate vicariously through others and celebrate in the spirit of things, like knitting a pair of red, white, and blue themed socks or wearing red, white, and blue themed clothes. Because, honestly, I think if 4th of July were in the cooler months, it might be right up there with Christmas for competing for my favorite holiday. Because colors, come on, red is my favorite. Blue is, I don't know if it's a short second behind, but I love red and blue together. So just think of all the fun we could have if it were in cooler months. Anyway, and then, of course, if you have pets, then sometimes it's hard on them for all of the celebrations. And we do have a pupper who's very timid, and she doesn't like thunder. I'm trying to remember how she's done with fireworks in the past. I don't think we have too many that bother her in that part of the house, fortunately. So she's been pretty good. but I know that is a consideration. Hey, Deb, I'm glad you're out here. And let's see, Tish, fireworks shot off in the area from 10 till about midnight. Yeah. I actually had a good night's sleep last night. And then Tara, you're staying in crochet and movies. Very nice. Ooh, Captain America. That's a great movie for 4th of July. I love it. And then Hamilton. Yep. I like it. All right. So have any of y'all watched any of the Christmas movies yet? I know I didn't post it in this week's newsletter. I think it was last week's newsletter. I posted the movie guide for Hallmark showing their premieres. But I want to say they started showing Christmas movies already, and I just haven't had a chance to watch any. As you know, I don't get to watch TV much during the day, and at night I usually watch something that Bo and I both enjoy. But he is going to have to suffer through some Christmas in July movies this month because tomorrow night is the first. I want to say it's a premiere, but then I saw a post that said that these movies had been shown on like the Hallmark Plus channel previously, which seems a bit of a ripoff to me, but whatever. So we'll see. I do plan on enjoying some of them, of course. Let's see what else. Oh, I don't know if you noticed. I've been so busy this week, as you can see. Not really. I wish. This is a crochet creation by none other than Laura Blair that she knit, or not, she didn't knit it up. She crocheted it up using, oops, I gotta fix that little booger. Hot Blooded, the gradient cake. And so, and this is the Acer shawl. So it's a 1 skein crochet shawl using, whoops, Hot Blooded. And I wanted a crochet sample for the booth at trunk shows and, you know, fiber festivals and all that. And so Laura volunteered to crochet up this beauty. And yeah, so I like it. We'll see how long I last underneath these lights today with it. But, oh, and did you see my shirt? Most likely to watch Christmas movies. That's right. I don't know. This year, that's not necessarily the case, but sometimes it definitely is. Oh, Tara, you have some Christmas movies on DVR. I like it. And then Diane is here. Hey, Diane, I'm glad to see you here. All right. Yeah, Laura did. She always does such a great job. I just happened to open that up this morning. And I was like, oh, I have something new to show off. So thank you, Laura. She always does such a good job anyway. What else is going on? Okay, so last week I told you all my books, right? So I finished this book, A Most Uncommon Degree of Popularity. It was okay. You know how, I don't know about y'all, when I finish a book, sometimes, you know, you always go through a time of needing to, I think, get over. It's kind of like sometimes when I pick up a knitting project, I'll start thinking about a TV show. And it's just a split second, but it's because it's a show that maybe I've been watching while I'm knitting that project, and it brings that memory back. And sometimes I find myself after I've finished a book, sometimes outright grieving because it's over, but other times, you know, things about the book will come back to me. And sometimes I find myself missing the characters and wanting to go back into that world. And then, you know, it's just a split second. And then I remember, of course, that, oh, right, I finished that book. So this book, it ended up being better than I thought it would. It started off, I almost wondered if it felt like the author herself, for some reason, felt some need to defend this upper middle class lifestyle, because she was just so defensive and so explaining in minute detail about why she made the decisions that she made and justifying everything. And I don't know, maybe it was just on the part of the author to really give you a good background as to what was going on. I don't know, but it felt like a weird gossip session at Starbucks with a friend or something, that she was trying to defend her actions. That's how it started off. It was very dry, and I wasn't that committed to it. But once I got into it, I could definitely relate. The mom in me, I think the point that she's trying to make, she even says it at one point, is that our egos are so wrapped up in our children that, it's like they can do no wrong. And we defend them no matter, whether in this case, whether they're the popular kid or as if the tables turn and suddenly they're not the popular kid and they're feeling excluded, we defend them and we side with our kid because it's like, oh, we're living vicariously through them. So anyway, it ended up better after the fact. I was like, okay, it wasn't bad, but it didn't start off great. I will say that. So it was a good read. And then of course I finished the next Louise Penny book, The Nature of the Beast. And that one, I gotta tell you, for a Louise Penny book, it started off kind of weird. And I was like, this is far-fetched. This is just crazy. But she pulls you in, as always. And yeah, she just does such a great job writing and, about people's perceptions. And it's like you're there and you're feeling it. So she's amazing. So I finished that. That's a lot of books, even for me. And I just started this one, A Great Reckoning. So this is book, I think, is this book 12? I think so. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's book 12. So I'm definitely, when these books are over, I'm definitely going to be grieving that. And who knows? I'm glad that I bought them, even if they're used. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure it'll be a book series that I'll go back and reread just because I love the characters and the environment so much. So having them on audiobook helps because I can listen to them while I'm doing other things like dyeing yarn. So yeah. Yes, Laura, absolutely. If you find yourself missing the characters after you watch a long show, if you've binge watched it or something like that. Thank you, dear. Yes, the Acer Shawl. And and we're reading the same book. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, this is I wonder if you're as far along or farther along than I am. This is a good one. It's he's no longer maybe I shouldn't say. Gamache has moved to a new area of things. And so it's kind of, some of the books are almost like grouped together. Like I remember, was it 9 and 10? Like you have to read 9 and 10 together. And then I feel like this book could almost it kind of starts a new era. So I find that interesting, the way that she has some of the books are connected. And then at the beginning, there were certain characters that and they were more peripheral characters, but they were in those. Anyway, yeah, you're about the same place. Yeah, this is a good one. This one got me right from the get-go for sure. All right, what else? Okay. And then, so tomorrow, we've got so many things going on. Tomorrow starts Tour de Fleece, if I don't have my dates incorrect. So that means I didn't join any specific tour teams or anything like that. My goal is simply just to get some spinning done because I haven't been doing much of that at all. So, and I did, for you fiber lovers, I did dye some fiber this week. It was towards the end of the week. So they're out on the dry racks and they'll go in the shop next week sometime. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a special newsletter just for those. But yeah, so fiber all around. And then our July fiber challenge, as you know, is to knit or crochet some holiday socks. So they have to in some way speak to one of your winter holidays. It could be in the colors that you choose, obvious holiday colors, or it needs to be, you can use non-traditional colors, but then you need to have a motif that is, like something with Christmas trees, or you could have Hanukkah dreidels or something like that using non-traditional colors. So, and you've got plenty of time. We have the whole month. And I don't know yet what the prize is going to be. I was just thinking before I came on here, I thought, I need to start when I decide on the fiber challenge for the month. I need to just force myself to pick the prize right then. So that it's taken care of, because otherwise I was already yesterday working on the graphic and everything for August fiber challenge. And I haven't even picked the prize for July's fiber challenge yet. So it feels like it's kind of this thing that's always there that I'm having to worry about. And I don't like that. So I'm going to have to be more systematic in how I do these things, I think. It will free up brain space for other more important things, right? Yes. That's the way my brain works anyway. All right, let's see. Do you all want to see what you all have been working on? There have been a lot. I'm sure I've missed some, and I apologize if I have, but I'm getting pretty good at trying to grab snapshots when you all post pictures that I see, but sometimes they're posted elsewhere or whatever, for whatever reason, maybe I'm just woke up or just about to go to sleep and I forget. So I apologize if I've missed anybody's projects. They're all so beautiful. The first one, we saw this last week, I think almost finished, or it was a whip. Anyway, it's finished now. This is Anne's project. And it's the sea glass. No, this is not. And I didn't write this one down, but I know what it is. It is by Petite Knit. And I think she said, hang on. Oh, yeah, it's the slip over, but it's the V-neck. So I think it's the same version of what I did, but it's a V-neck instead of an O-neck like what I did. And I really like this. I'm thinking I might have to make another one of these in the V-neck version. And I'm trying to remember, I think that's Bubblicious that she used, which is a beautiful pink. And so I'm pretty sure you held fluffy lace and then a fingering together, if I remember correctly, Anne. So it's gorgeous as always. And then Tammy, we saw these socks last week. She's making some serious progress. She's got cherry blossoms using there in the main part of the sock, 2 at a time. I love it. And then, I should have done this one next to her other project. Anne's started the sea glass tee, which apparently, because you're using so many leftovers, apparently some people have issues with all those ends and what to do with them. But Anne seems to be handling it like a master right here, which I love. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. That's very interesting. But it is a beautiful, I love that idea for using up scraps of your yarn. And this one looks great. I just love it. Good job, Anne. And then this is Lonnie. I think Lonnie has 2 projects that she's working on. Doesn't surprise me. This particular one, she's using the Good and Plenty colorway, and she's knitting up Shine Bright by Jim Aerosmith. Y'all, this pattern is gorgeous. You don't get to see a lot of it here, but you can kind of see some of that lace work showing through. And I looked at the pattern and it's gorgeous. What a gorgeous shawl. Good pick, Lonnie. I like it. And then her second project that I caught is this one, the Knitmas in July. And she's using everything from Let's Save Christmas. That was last, I think December's Dying to Knit colorway. And then Chocolate Raspberry Gamache. Sorry, I got Gamache on my brain. Ganache, which is I love that colorway. That one's going to have to come back. Copper and then Teal, The Cows Come Home. So gorgeous. And I would not have thought to put Let's Save Christmas in there, but that looks so good. Lonnie always does a good job pairing the colors for sure. And then this one, Jenny is, she's in the Bay Area Knitting Guild, and she knit up Pam's Interstellar Shorties using Hot and Cold. And I want to say Swan White was the contrast color. It could have been Cookie Crumbs, but I'm pretty sure that it was Swan White. Doesn't it look good? She did such a good job and knit them up like that in a hurry. And then Karen finished her Fiorellino, which is gorgeous. I want to say that is Stargazer. Am I right, Karen? I think so. It's beautiful. All right, this Connie she's also in the Bay Area Knitting Guild, and she is knitting the Interstellar Shorties using Go Big or Go Home and Limeade. And that was the first pick I caught. And then this one, she's almost done. And look what she's doing, y'all. She does like I do, the sister socks. I love that so much. The way Go Big or Go Home is the main color on one sock, and then Limeade is the main color on another. Hey, Pam. I see Pam over on Instagram, by the way, y'all. All right. And then Pam, speaking of Pam, that is her first finished sock that she's making for her husband using charcoal and leprechaun is the contrast color there. I haven't seen the second sock yet. I wonder if she's switching colors on that one. Oh, shucks. Pam said your colorways are so beautiful. Thank you, Pam. My head's growing over here. And then Bobby did what I was hoping somebody would do. I meant to mention it last week on the live and totally forgot. She is mixing the Interstellar Knit Along with the July Fiber Challenge. So she gets credit for two things there. And she's knitting the Interstellar Shorties using peppermint bark and Holly Jolly is the contrast color. And she said it's showing up way more orange than it really is. I don't know. It looks pretty red on my monitor, but then I know what Holly Jolly looks like. So maybe I'm seeing it that way. And then, yes, I knew I had a second picture there. She finished sock number 1. So next time she said that she might pair peppermint bark with a to be determined pink. Yeah, there's definitely some pink in there. So I love that. It looks gorgeous. She better hope she doesn't bring those next time I see her because I might steal them. And then Audrey is also doing the Interstellar Shorties. I was trying to think. I want to say I saw another pictures. I think she's farther along than this, obviously. But she's got, I think that's berry. And if I remember correctly, raspberry lemonade is her contrast color, which looks so good. Y'all are doing such a great job. And then the last one, Linda said I had to cast on, and I think she's using charcoal, and that looks like Stargazer to me there. Yeah. So very good. Y'all are amazing. I love it so much. And then let me show you where I am at on mine. I would have knit more on these last night, but then I was like, oh, I've got a trunk show on Saturday, and who knows, I might get some time to knit. So I wanted to save myself a few rows on the leg so that, because it's such easy knitting these two colors, that I didn't knit all the way down to the heel yet, because that way I can, if I have time to knit tomorrow, then I'll knit on these. So I think I've got, I don't know, maybe 10 more rows to the heel. These are for Bo, the Interstellar. They're not shorties, obviously, as you can see, because Bo didn't want shorties. But I've got confetti at the top, and then Pomp and Circumstance is my contrast color. And then I think, unless Bo has objections, because he was kind of hemming and hawing the other night about me flipping on the second sock using the Pomp and Circumstance as the main color. So I don't know. We'll have to see. As the knitter, I think that I should just get to do what I want to do, but you know, we always have to take into consideration what the recipient wants. Hello, Puro Crochet. Welcome. Yes, from Brazil. I love that so much. And yeah, they do look kind of tweedy, don't they, Deb? It's kind of cool. And I'm not sure, you can see some distinction with color dominance, and at first I thought maybe it's just a trick of the light, but I think there actually is some difference. I'm holding them, Tin Can Knits tells you, at least I don't know if they've changed it, but usually whichever strand you're holding at the top, like because I hold one in each hand. My coordinating color is in my right hand, and my main color is in my left. The one that I want to be color dominant is in my left, and it should always come over the top of your coordinating color, or the color you want to be less dominant, which I've been doing. So I'm not sure why. I don't care. I love the way that it looks, but it does seem to be more consistent down here in terms of look. And this, yeah, this side is just all weird. So I'm not sure. I don't know if it might be a tensioning thing there. Some of it might actually be where I knit with the wrong color. I don't know. If you look at my floats, it does look like there's some difference in the color dominance going on. Anyway, fortunately, Bo seems to like the look of them, and I like them as well. So it's all good. Anyway, I'm going to try to get the heel done this weekend. So, and then I'm also doing, I told y'all I was going to do my third ranunculus. Oh, so I have cast on. Oh yeah, I was casting on last Friday, wasn't I? Swan white on Shwanky Shock, and then I've got sprinkles on fluffy lace. And here is what we have. You know what I love about the ranunculus? It knits up so fast. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not that far away, less than 20 rows from splitting for the sleeves, y'all. It's kind of hard to see where I'm at because it's all bunched up. So, excuse me, I'm using my, what are they called? The Knit Pro Cubics. J'adore, I think, is the purple wood. So I'm using those and enjoying them, of course, on this. But I didn't, you know how you get lazy and you don't want to change out for a longer cable. So I haven't done that. I'm just, as I am increasing stitches, I'm just kind of, scrunching them all up and piling them on, because eventually I'm going to have to split for the sleeves anyway. And I figure, I'll just leave it. We'll see. It might get on my nerves and then I'll have to go ahead and lengthen the cord, but we'll see for now. And I tried on one of my, so I have two dresses that I want to wear this one with. Hopefully I'll get it done before long because I want to wear them in the summer. And so I tried on one of my other ranunculuses for length. And I think this one I can actually do just a tiny bit shorter. I'll do a couple side decreases because my others, if you've seen it on me, they're very wide and they're cropped as well because I always wear a shirt under it. But this one, I'll be wearing a dress under it, which I want, waist shaping to be there. So that means this one will need to be just a little bit shorter. And then, of course, I'm doing half sleeves. So all in all, this should be a very quick project. We'll see. Except I will tell you this week, I've never had this problem with any of my other ranunculuses before, but these decorative rows, not those, these up here, the second row that I did, for some reason, it took me the one night that I don't remember. What I remember is that there was one night where I literally spent the entire evening tearing out the couple of rows, and then thinking I had whatever my problem was, I had the wrong stitch count. I thought I had it fixed. So I started knitting the row again, and then nope, got to the end and I didn't have it fixed. And so I basically wasted that entire night of knitting. Not wasted, but it felt like a waste because I didn't accomplish anything. The next night I had to go back and rip those two rows completely out. I tinked them. I tinked back. I didn't, rip them out, but I tinked them back and then made it ahead. So it's always such a frustrating experience when that happens. But I was probably reading or something like that, or watching the TV and not paying close enough attention. And so I somehow messed up that row. It's not like it's a difficult stitch or anything like that. And the instructions are really good and there's videos and everything. So I'm not sure what happened. Something happened. It all fell apart. So anyway, yeah. Yes, sorry, those are both knit. I don't crochet, unfortunately, which is why Laura had to work on the Acer shawl for me because I don't crochet. One day I want to, and I will. I will one day learn to crochet, but that day is not yet. I still have more things to accomplish with my knitting, So, all right. Yes. Thank you, Deb. We do have knitters and crocheters, but most most crochet knit, but we do have, actually we have quite a few bi-stitchual people as well who do both. Hey Jana, glad to see you here. Busy lady, I know. All right, let's talk about what's new in the shop, shall we? Okay, for Christmas in July, I went, my dying to knit people know all about this colorway and the fiasco that not a fiasco, but it was a long journey. Yeah, I have so many reds and I have plenty of Christmas colorways, but sometimes, you want to see something new. And so I wanted a new Christmas colorway with just a deep, deep, dark crimson, but not one that leaned purple. It just needed to be the right crimson. And so as a result, there were quite a few one-of-a-kind colorways, which are in the shop, including there's one here, One Horse Sleigh on Trusty DK was one of my experiments. And it's good. Don't get me wrong. I like it. And I know some of you like it because some of y'all have bought it, but it wasn't what I had in my head. This Under the Mistletoe was what I had in my head. Look at that. Just deep, deep, dark crimson. And I paired it with two gorgeous, moody, dark greens in there. And they're just right side by side. So they kind of blend together as one color. I don't know if you can see the differences. They're very similar, really, but I just like them together. So this is it. This is Under the Mistletoe. This one is, I basically you've got your stripes of the dark crimson and then the stripes of the green going down. So pretty much throughout the skein. And then to go with it, there is an Under the Mistletoe mini set available on both Trusty Sock Minis and Trusty DK. And you see I've got, so Velveteen is the new deep dark red that matches. I use the dye from in here. And then Scarlet is the lighter red. I simply lightened the concentration on it, and that's that red. And then you've got some favorites, of course. Cavendish is in there. You get a mini skein of Under the Mistletoe. And then the two greens that I used. And they are both, let's see, what are they? Mossy over here and Mirror. Mirror is the darker green. So so many scrappy things with this. So those are in the shop. And then of course, Velveteen is available on, I think, is it 2 bases? I think I've only got it on Fluffy Sock and Sparkly Sock. However, I do have a pre-order up for the other bases. I just didn't have time to get them all tied up with other things. Well, I think at first I wasn't sure that I was going to dye it up. I think that's what it came down to. Let's be honest. I wasn't sure. And so, by the time I decided, yeah, I think it should be in there because I have so many reds, I get it. There are a lot of reds, but Velveteen is definitely, this is kind of my go-to red. I'm thinking I might have to make a winter sweater out of Velveteen for me. We'll see. We'll see what Nani Swimo brings about later this year. Once I'm done knitting some of my summer tops, then we'll see what comes about. All right, let's see what else. Hello, Carrie. Glad to have you here. The Yarny Elephant. Kim, I have too much knitting to do to learn. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way too. I have so many knit projects and even things that I haven't learned how to do, like brioche is still something I want to master in knitting. Cabling, I mean, I can cable. It's not my favorite, but I'm trying to think what else. Are there any other techniques that I want to learn? I would like to be able to, I think one of the things I want to master is I would like to design a sweater. I think if I can design a sweater, and I know there's plenty of courses out there. I think I even signed up for at least one of them. I haven't gone through them yet. because of time allotment. That's another issue. But I think one of my big things is, yeah, I want to be able to design a sweater. I've done shawls and socks and hats, but I've not done a sweater yet. I would like to do that. So we'll see. Maybe once I've accomplished that, then I can, who knows? One day out of the blue, I'll probably be like, I want to crochet that. I need to learn now. And then it'll happen. So probably so. What about shadow knitting? Is that where you see it's like a hidden picture in the knitting? I think because somebody just posted like a bat or something in was it a shawl? That actually would be very cool. Yeah. That, and I don't even know, is it an actual technique, the double knitting, where you have, on one side you see one thing and then on the other you see something else, and it's actually knit that way. It's not duplicate stitch. I think, isn't that a technique? I don't even know. See, there's so much that I just don't even know yet. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. So, couple of things. Speaking of Christmas. So, tomorrow I will be at Knitcessities in Orlando. And so the shop will be closed tomorrow for a short time. Also, because today's July 5th, there is no the post office isn't open. So if you placed an order this morning or anytime this weekend, obviously it'll ship on Monday, unless you pre-ordered the velveteen, and then that will go out probably within 2 weeks. I'll have that dyed up as well. So let's see what else. And then July 19th, Knit and Stitch, also a Christmas themed trunk show. I'll bring some other colorways as well, like tomorrow at Knitcessities. I won't have just Christmas colorways. It'll be largely Christmas colorways, but I'll have some other things as well. So, and then I don't know if there's any openings in the sock blank dye experience at Knit and Stitch. There might be. Well, I'll have to look, or you can look if you're interested. And then, of course, don't forget July 26th, I will be at She Sells Yarn in Ormond Beach. And so, Deb, yes, the Monstera shawl. Okay, I'll have to look that up. That sounds good. Very cool. I don't know that I want a bat hidden in my knitting, but something else would be cool. And it would make for a good, attention grabber for sure. Yeah. All right. What else? Let's see. And then also, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know. It's not on my list. So, I try to be very organized and to get things on my list, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Anyway, Dying to Knit, people. Next Thursday is our night for Happy Days. And I didn't get a chance to even tell y'all yet, but I did the practice pot yesterday and it looks good. I think we have our Happy Days colorway ready to go, which is exciting. I was telling the Dying to Knit people all these other colorways that I've been working on, and I can't seem to get my dye concentrates to work out exactly what I want. For example, I'm trying to do a garnet and gold colorway for FSU, a special request from a customer. And so, which it doesn't always happen that way. This is a special, and maybe I shouldn't even be talking about it because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings in the future, because this doesn't very often happen that I just, oh yeah, let me work on that. Usually it's let's see if I have time. We'll see, because these things do take time. Anyway, I'm working on a garnet and gold. I think I have the garnet down. Now I got to get the gold. And it's like, pulling my hair out sometimes. And it seems like lately I have something in my head and it's like I cannot get it to come out the way I want. But fortunately, so when I have success, like the Dying to Knit colorway, then it's like, whew, thank goodness. And I have to tell y'all, I've been using, I don't know how y'all feel about AI. Maybe I should not mention this, but Hey, Karen. So let me divert from that for a minute. How about doing a show up in New England? You know what? I would love to, Karen. One issue, I have a couple of issues. One, well, actually, I say that. I might be doing one in Virginia. I don't know. Is that New England enough? In September, according according to that particular organizer, it was like, I think we'll have a spot for you if you can do this. And I was like, yep, I can do that. That'd be great. And then I've heard nothing back. So some of these organizers are awesome. And then some, I get it. It's not their main focus. They have other things to do. They have a life. And so, but anyway, so I assume, I don't know. I haven't actually been charged anything. So as far as I know, I'm not actually there. But the other issue is drive time. Because obviously I want to get the word out about Swan City Yarns and I want to meet as many people as possible. But I do have to figure, we're coming all the way from Florida. So it can take a couple days to drive, and financially that's a consideration always. And so things like that. So it is my goal to come to New England. I definitely have some New England fiber festivals on my radar, just so you know. But anyway, so going back, let's see, Mary Ellen. Are you going to tell us about what you're creating for Common Thread? Yes. Well, there's not a lot to tell yet. I am going to be doing a colorway, and I think Shannon would be okay with me telling you all this. I came up with a color palette, but Shannon would like to get some input from the customer base. And I was like, hey, I am all for that. So I think that she's going to put something out and get opinions from all of you. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to the Common Thread, I think there's a the in front there, is a new yarn shop opening up over in St. Petersburg. And so the owner has asked if I would be willing to do a custom colorway for them. And I said, yes, absolutely. I think that would be fabulous. So that's what we're talking about. Okay, so anyway, moving on, or back to, should I say, the AI. I don't know how y'all feel about AI, but I have found that sometimes, creatively, I use a lot of my creative energies out in the dye studio. So then when it comes time for me to, do anything from making graphics to coming up with some, it might be a title for something, or it might be a description for something, or even proofreading, stuff like that. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to go see what ChatGPT comes up with. I have to say, ChatGPT is very clever. Of course it is. I don't know. Maybe AI is going to kill us all one day. That's what some people say. Within so many years, it's going to kill us. I don't know, or rule over us. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what the future holds. But for now, ChatGPT has been very helpful. I try not to let it take over, like, change something completely from what I would say. If it doesn't sound like Carolyn would say it, then that's not helpful. But I did some new colorways that you'll see later this month. I decided, I think I want to go a different direction with some colorway names, but I was just having a hard time kind of getting my brain working in that direction. And so it's kind of like puns. I don't know if y'all know anybody who's really good at puns, but I used to really be friends with someone who was always good at puns constantly. And they made that comment. They said, well, you have to train your brain to constantly, that's how you kind of train your brain. You're always looking for that. So, sometimes our brain just isn't working in a certain way or a certain direction. And so it kind of helps to brainstorm. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that, but there you have it. So if you see something that's very un-Carolyn-like, feel free to point it out and say, hey, Carolyn, what's going on here? But anyway, so yes, Kim, that actually is the one, Shenandoah Valley. I think, yeah, that is the one. And again, I have nothing bad to say. I really want to go. And I think I might have a spot, but I just haven't been, confirmed. So I hope so. And Yeah, because it seems like it would be a great thing. I think that's one that's been around for a while. So yeah, I have nothing bad to say about that. I'm excited and I hope to have that happen. So yeah. And then of course, as y'all know, in August, the 1st of August, I will be at Southern Comforts Fiber Festival. That's in Charlotte with a bunch of very cool classes that you want to check out if you're thinking of going. And then the end of August, the 22nd through the 24th, the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, which is another one that has a ton of classes as well. And then in November, I'll be at the for sure will be at the Alabama Fiber Festival. I'm excited about that one. I hear that one's pretty cool too. I was told by another indie dyer, you need to try to get into that one. I was like, okay. If you say it, then that you have more experience than I do with these. So anyway. All right, y'all. It's Friday. You know what that means. I got to go to the grocery store. I think Publix is open today, right? Honey, I don't know that we confirmed that, but they're usually open unless it's a major holiday. I don't think the trash came today. Sometimes the trash does come, but the trash did not come. And yeah, and then tomorrow I'll be at Knitcessities. So I hope that y'all have a good weekend. If you get a chance, watch some Christmas movies. So you'll know what I'm talking about next week if I come and lament about the state of the Christmas movies, or maybe hopefully I'll be excited about how good they were. Anyway, whatever you do, stay cool and have a great weekend. And I will see you all next week right here. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me.